I'm too old, and I haven't got the grip I had.
We've got some facts. Some people did fax us back, and these are my favourite ones. This is from Lord Ely, and it's in answer to the facts. Look, House of Lords card. Got it at Christmas, very nice. In answer to the question, I do not attend the House of Lords because it's none of your business. Marvellous. This is my personal favourite, okay? I do not attend the House of Lords because, as Voltaire had it, we must cultivate our garden. This weird thing happened, because remember we did some stuff on British nuclear fuels on the trains, right? One of the things that happened was we sort of jumped up by this nuclear train as they were sort of trundling along and said, hello, we're here to help, you're not very safe. And BNFL went a bit mad about it and got very upset. And somebody said to them, no, it's a serious point about security. What if a suicide bomber got onto one of those nuclear flasks and blew it up? And they said, suicide bomber? They'd have to be mad. Now, we thought that was fairly tonto behaviour. Until we came across this little beauty. There's actually a nuclear reactor in Greenwich. And it's at the Royal Naval College. And it's being dismantled because the site is part of the Millennium Dome visitors bit. And what they've got is they've got this shed where they're bringing up the nuclear reactor. It's not even a shed. It's Shanty Car Wash. And it's about 20 yards from the main drag, because you can get in there. Members of the public can go round the Royal Naval College to see the beautiful chapel and the paintings on the gallery and all of this stuff. And so we went along as a group of art lovers. We were there for about 40 minutes before, and we're right that far away from the reactor. And no one came out. And it got to, I've never had this before. I was fucking furious. I said, right, I've had enough now. Come on, everyone in front of the security camera, dance around. Come on! Drop your keck, show them your ass, get the bastards out here. And eventually this bloke comes and said, what are you doing? At last. And then he kicked us off and we opened up an art gallery in a shop opposite and put on all our works and explained to people what was going on. Then, the weirdest bit is when we saw the application form for the nuclear waste disposal for the Greenwich reactor. We saw the application made by the UK Energy Authority, Atomic Energy Authority, and it's made on behalf of the MOD, and there's a bit that says, aqueous radioactive waste disposal. Do you intend to do it? Tick yes in the top there, on the top right. They're going to get rid of radioactive water. How do you intend to do it? And then they have all the kind of like little lists of how you might do it. First one is public sewer. Tick. They're putting radioactive waste down the fucking public sewer to get rid of it, and this is radioactive waste, it's not a fucking dead goldfish. Put it down the toilet, flush it, fuck it, that'll be alright. And so we did an interview with John Battle. He is in charge of energy, he is in charge of BNFL. He is fucking mad.
Well, what the scientists can do now is get molecules to talk to molecules, and they can operate at a molecular level. And I'm almost tempted to say that from science, there's no such thing as pollution. There's just molecules in the wrong places. That's the problem. And if we can get the molecules in the right places, we can tackle the problems.
What? He's mad! There's no such thing as pollution, just molecules. There's no such thing as human, just carbon-based forms. Or logic, just synaptic energy. You just think he's off his... And then, but people actually think that what would be a good idea is if we could put all the nuclear waste on a rocket and fire it into space. But you can't do that because it's not safe on the launch pad. Conversely, if it was safe, it would be all right then. And you just think, this is just mad. This is like pissed pub science. Why don't we put it up there then, eh? Right, there's loads of, when you think about it, right, no. Right, there's loads of, we can just shove it up. We don't have to worry about it, do we? Just put it up there. Who's it going to hit? No one. Klingons, but they're our enemies. We can just put it up. Eh? First two shows were on Indonesia, and you know, we went out to this Greek arms fair, posed as PR people, got these Indonesian generals to admit to torture and the use of UK equipment in East Timor. We wanted to follow it up and see what happened afterwards. We then spoke to this MP, who's quite a nice fellow, although he's a Labour MP, and there's 64 export licences, right, that the Labour government have approved for arms to Indonesia. 64. He wrote a question saying, how much was all the contracts worth? And government wrote a little note back saying, we can't tell you, as the cost of finding out this information would be a disproportionate cost to the taxpayer. Which is a bit of a cop-out. In fact, someone actually a little while ago wrote a question to the government and said, can you tell me how many questions have been answered by saying, we cannot tell you as the cost will be disproportionate to the taxpayer? And they replied, the cost will be disproportionate to... How much does it cost to pay a civil servant to look through 64 files, rummage through, find the total cost of the Indonesian contracts, add them up on a calculator? We thought, well, that's a day's work top whack, isn't it? Top whack. So we thought 500 quid. And that's generous, isn't it? Very generous. So we've had a benefit and we've raised the money. And we've presented it, we've sent the cheque off to the DTI. Can you now answer the question? We've had cash for questions, now we'd like cash for answers. and we sent it off. Now, we wanted to go on to the DTI and ask them this question. We also wanted to ask them about Stephen Byers, because he's in charge of company law, and he's also in breach of company law. Because a couple of programmes back, we did this thing about how if you're a corporate director, you have to leave your usual home address with company's house. And Stephen hasn't done that. Stephen is director on BNFL and has put his home address as the DTI. Very bad. Very bad. Ooh, no, bad. Jack Straw, slap wrist, zero tolerance. Ooh, watch yourself. And we thought, well, we've got to be able to go into the DTI. But whenever we go in there to ask questions, they always sort of like just nip around it. And we've got questions to ask them, they just avoid them all the time. So we thought, oh, fuck it. We've got to find a way of trying to engage with them. Go, go, go. Doesn't matter if it goes off, don't worry, just get in. Alright then, how are you?
What's going on?
We've come to ask you some questions about the DTI. We've got a few bits and pieces.
Well, you
We've got...
get them out.
What?
All these...
To show girls of truth.
You are naughty, aren't you?
I know, I'm terrible, I am sorry about that. I'm come here to deliver some stuff to Stephen Byers and the DTI.
Fine. Can we get these girls outside, please, because they're causing a detraction to the visitors.
The weird thing was we actually thought, well, while everyone's out here and in the Sunday best, we thought, let's go along to the House of Commons. And unfortunately, you're not allowed to film in there, but we went along to the House of Commons. 16 showgirls of truth arrived there. And the police go, all right, hang on, what's all this about? I said, well, we're just doing some filming in the area, and we've all come to lobby our MPs. What? Well, no, what's it all about? Well, the women have got different issues. They want to raise nuclear trains, pollution, environment, fairness at work, all these kind of issues. They've all come. Do they know who their MPs are? I said, oh, yeah. And he said, well, who's your MP? And this one just went, Keith Hill, because we got smart showgirls. And so I said, all right, you can come in, but I'm not letting you through. You can come in. So we're in the House of Commons, all lined up on the staircase. Right, waiting to go in, and this copper comes up and he goes, oh, hello, all right, hello, Mark, how are you? Seen some of the shows, quite like some of them. He said, what's all this about? I said, we've all come to lobby our MP. He goes, no, you're not coming in. I said, why? He said, inappropriate dress. I said, isn't there a court of appeal above you that I can rationalise with? He said, yeah, Sergeant at Arms. I said, well, can I talk to the Sergeant? No, I'm only telling you what the Sergeant at Arms would tell you, and that is inappropriate dress. I said, what does a sergeant at arms wear? He said, stockings, breeches, long coat, foot. Very clever. So we then wanted to go along to the Department of Environment, Transport and Regions, and because we've got loads of questions to ask them, you know, about sort of the Jubilee Line extension, health and safety, nuclear trains, you know, civil aviation, the privatisation of air traffic control, all this kind of stuff. And we thought, we've got to be able to get in. And it's a fantastic building for showgirls. Because it's enormous. You go into this sort of like